you, Rural Metro, and we appreciate everything that you do, and we appreciate that you're a really good neighbor right here with us. So that leads tonight. Thank you all for being here. There's chairs up here. There's a chair or two here. If anybody wants to come and grab it, you can take it in the back if you're more comfortable back there, whatever. But again, thank everybody. It's great to see neighbors, a lot I don't know, and I appreciate. Can you hear me now? Okay, I just need to keep this kind of in my mouth, huh? Okay. I don't have a problem talking or talking loud, so sorry about that. The purpose tonight is that as neighbors, we wanted to come together as a community and do all that we can. Obviously, everybody's here because they're interested in water, they need water, they want water. And we want to have all of us, we meaning all of us, to come together as a community to support our government officials' efforts to work on our behalf. And what we want to do tonight, obviously we don't have the power, we're just the people, right? But when we come together as a group, then we have a little bit more strength to talk to and support our officials so that they can do their job. And that's what we want to do here. We want to let the county know that we support their efforts and we want to keep the momentum going forward for an interim water solution. Now, we're not necessarily talking about what that solution is, other than tonight we're asking that we have a petition in the back that we're asking you to sign, and all it says is we as a community, the Rio Verde Foothills community, neighbors and friends, are in support of the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors negotiating with the City of Scottsdale on an agreement to create an immediate interim water solution for the Rio Verde Foothills. So, and I think there are people that are going to talk a little bit more about this, but Scottsdale has said that they're willing to come to the table and turn the spigot back on. That's what we want, right? We want the spigot to turn back on so that we all have water and life as it was before January 1st. So there's a lot of different ways that can happen. Everybody has ideas, but at the end of the day, all we want to do as a group is support the County Board of Supervisors because they are the ones that work for us to work with the City of Scottsdale. And as many of you know, the Attorney General recently issued an opinion. That is our highest legal counsel in the state of Arizona, and they have said that the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors has the authority to do that. So I think there was some question initially about whether they had the authority. They said they have the authority. So they have provided a roadmap for this to happen. We feel like this as a community, again, all I'm saying, we want to come together. We want to ask the government, Scottsdale, they're our neighbor. You know, we want to be friends with them. We want to be friends with all of our neighbors, with Rio Verde, with Scottsdale, with everybody. And we want to ask them all to work together. So that's the purpose of the meeting for us as a group, as a community, to be friendly and support our officials. So now, and we just have arranged for, this is kind of an informal thing that we've just gotten together, and so we've arranged for some people to kind of give some information to help you understand. But in the back there is a petition, and we are just asking you to sign it, and basically all it's saying is that we are in support of the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors working with Scottsdale on an interim water solution to basically get the spigots turned back on ASAP.
Maybe somebody's going to explain, or can you say how that would be implemented or delivered and who it would be delivered to?
Please repeat the question.
Okay, all right, we'll ask her, Sandra maybe can address that.
Questions at the end.
Okay, all right, and then there will be some questions at the end if you want to come up, and we'll try again, give you what information we know or understand at this point. Okay, and Sandra, Sandra Beebe, she'll introduce herself.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's great to see you all here tonight. Thank you for coming. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I do really appreciate you coming, as we all do. As you listen to the presentations, and we hope to be fairly brief, I would hope that you would then consider, if you haven't already, signing that rather simple petition that says, Maricopa County, please negotiate with the folks that have the water. Scottsdale. It's pretty simple, actually. My husband and I are going to sign the petition. Actually, I signed it, and I'm going to get him to sign this evening. We hope that you will too. My presentation, however, is to give you a little background of how we came to the conclusion that supporting this idea is good. We want to do it. First, a few facts that I believe, and I think some of them are fairly obvious. I think everybody in this room and everybody in our community wants access to safe and affordable water. It's where we all started. That's what we want. Our community, in my opinion, needs Scottsdale to be part of the solution. There's just not an alternative source that has the ability to obtain both SRP and the Central Arizona Project water to process it and make it available at a close standpipe that we can all get to. The city of Scottsdale, in my opinion, gets to decide what terms are acceptable to them, given they have the water and if it involves them. And as Scottsdale's made it clear, they do not want to work with a private entity. They want to have an intergovernmental agreement, agency agreement, also called an IGA. Now, IGA, by the way, folks, is just when one municipality goes to work with another municipality to share resources. Most governments want to have IGAs because they're easier to design, to enforce, and to fund than private contracts. And both parties actually benefit when you have an IGA that they've agreed to, normally. Scottsdale officials have also stated that they view working with a private entity such as EPCOR could easily put their taxpayers at a liability for Rio Verde service in the future. And they put it very succinctly, we're a government, not a utility. We don't want to take on that risk. So that's their positions. Some quick background. Liz alluded to the Attorney General May's expedited opinion, and I'll just repeat it real quickly and just paraphrase it. If there's a need to provide water to a community on an emergency basis, then a county board of supervisors can contract with a government entity to provide water on an emergency basis. And one way to accomplish this, she says, is an IGA. I'm told that after the AG issued her expedited opinion, a group of county officials, city officials, and legislative officials and their staff got together, and then she decided they were going to support moving forward to get an agreement between the city of Scottsdale and Maricopa County. The city of Scottsdale, then after that meeting of all the officials, as I understand it, that their resolution came along in about 7 days, which is a miracle for that sort of thing, the speed, and then they presented it to the county board of supervisors. The resolution lists the conditions that Scottsdale would ideally like to see Maricopa agree to before they supply water from their standpipe to our community. Now, I think that document was clearly labeled to be the starting negotiation of something. It says draft on every page. It was distributed widely, and it gives authorization to the city staff to work with the county staff to refine the agreement so everybody can mutually agree on the outcome. Given that I thought the authorities had teed up this process, I was just astounded and disappointed, as were many people, that the county's response was not to negotiate, but instead create their own resolution, which states that the only water solution for the area is for Scottsdale to allow the private service provider EPCOR short-term standpipe access.
That's not true.
No.
That's not true.
Okay, we can discuss that a little bit.
Yes, thank you.
That's what I read, to be honest. In my opinion, if EPCOR is not the only solution, if the case can be made, this is only my opinion, I don't think it's the best one, but EPCOR is only the only solution because other solutions have been turned down by the board. I'm not lobbying for anything at this point, but the district was an IGA eligible idea.
Can you clarify what solutions were turned down by the board?
I'm sorry, I want to finish this and then anybody questions. So, the county has rejected the solution that Scottsdale's offered. So the EPCOR as the only solution, which I'm now getting an argument from, and we can debate that. I don't have a heavy defense for it. So the failure of the county to begin negotiations, though, is mystifying me, to get to the point. It's just mystifying me, why won't the county negotiate with the city? Why is EPCOR the only thing that's being held up as far as I can discern? So my mystification comes from, given that the Scottsdale has the necessary processing facilities and the standpipe, here's what I believe. Unacceptable demands are not likely to get us water. County arguments of what they perceive as weakness in the city of Scottsdale resolution are not likely to get us water, not without negotiation. The county's assertion that the EPCOR plan is a better plan is not likely to get us water. Indeed, these demands may cause the city of Scottsdale just to decide they don't want to negotiate at all, particularly in mega drought conditions. And it does seem to me that some of this has become pretty personal between Mayor Tega and Supervisor Galvin, which complicates the process. One observer said it seems the two sides have dug deep trenches. So my other point is wasting more time fighting is not going to get us water. And we all want water. Tragically, what should have been a good faith negotiation, I think has become laden with personal arguments. And we, the RFE community, are the ones caught in the middle, and we, the RF community, are bearing the price. So it's clear to me that the Board of Supervisors should negotiate with the City of Scottsdale to secure our community residents as soon as possible. It's time for the county to step up and actually participate in getting our community water now. That's why at this meeting we have a petition. I hope people will sign it. I think, turning to some of the organizers here, I think the idea was to have questions at the end. Is that correct? Yeah. So if we can follow that, we'll have questions at the end. So, Liz? Did I say I'm Sandra Beatty and I live here?
Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you, Sandra. And again, I just want everybody to understand that, again, like I said in the beginning, this is a community meeting where we just want to have support as a group. Nobody's trying to be divisive. Nobody wants to choose any kind of sides. That's not why we're here. At the end of the day, this side we all want is our side. It's our side, the Rio Verde community side, and it's water. And all we're asking tonight is that you we give support to the Board of Supervisors to work with Scottsdale. And obviously, this is just on an interim basis. Nobody's arguing any long-term or putting forward any long-term ideas or solutions. But when two parties get together to negotiate, they sit down, they talk about it, and they go back and forth. And that really isn't, we're not proposing any kind of fine details to any of that, because I believe that's up to the parties that sit down at the table and negotiate, the parties with the authority. And all we can do is show our support for them to get together and negotiate and try to work something out on an interim basis. It seems teed up. It seems really easy. The standpipe is right down the street. Let's just turn it back on. And however that happens, I don't know the answer to that, but it can't happen unless we support the Board of Supervisors getting together and working with the city of Scottsdale. That's all. That's what we're here for tonight. And we have several speakers, so I will introduce the next one, and I promise next time I'm going to not speak anymore. I'm just going to keep introducing everybody so we can move on. Donna Rice.
Hello. So I was going to give you my 2 cents, and Sandra covered at least 1 cent of my 2 cents. So my talk is going to be much shorter. Yeah, and I'll pay you that 1 cent. I feel like the Board of Supervisors has really failed our community, and I feel like they've failed us over and over again. The city of Scottsdale has no responsibility for us. We belong to the county, and so I'm just really disappointed that they're not working hard and negotiating. So I think one way forward for us is to get their attention. We've asked them nicely, we've demanded that they help us, and they haven't. When it became obvious that they weren't going to approve a solution by the city's deadline, did they go out and try and find us an interim source of water?
Yes.
All of us know that we don't have water now. So I believe, and you may disagree with me, excuse me, you may disagree with me, but I think it's fairly ironic that while they were unable to get us water, they were able to go out and assess the value of 1.8 million properties within this area, or within the county. So I'm suggesting, and it's just my suggestion, that we all appeal our property tax values for 2024. Mine went up 20.5%, and I have no water. I prepared directions on how to do that through the Maricopa Assessor's Office website, and that's on the back table as well. So all I want to say is we need water, and we need it now. And that's all I've got.
Thank you, Donna. And now we have Mike Mayola, another resident of our community here. Mike.
Thank you. Let me put my glasses on. I'm speaking here tonight as a resident of the Rio Verde Foothills. We've lived here for many years and damn proud of it, and I am just pissed off.
Yeah.
Period. All I have to say is the people that are our elected officials that are supposed to represent us have done nothing but stonewall and deal in their own self-interest. And that has got to stop, and it'll only stop if all of us get together and force them to the negotiating table, like the Attorney General said, and get something done. Now, the long-term solution, I don't know what it is. If it's EPCOR, great, I could give a rat's ass. All I want is for my neighbors to have water now.
Now.
That's it. Why? Tell me why in this country should I have a neighbor that has to join a gym to take a shower, use collected rainwater to flush their toilets, and use bottled water for drinking and cooking here in the United States? No freaking way. If these people are going to stonewall and deal in their own self-interest, we've got to hold their feet to the fire and make it stop. I don't have the solution, but all of us together, somebody's got to have an answer to this, because people's lives are at stake and livelihoods are at stake. while they're dragging their feet. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mike. John Cornell?
Well, I promise to be on my best behavior tonight. Because I am incredibly passionate about water, okay? We have a real problem here. Why I'm the only water hauler willing to go public, I don't know. But we have a real problem here. I can tell you this. Every water hauler since January 1st, 2023, every single water hauler that has been providing this community with water has been operating in, shall I say, a very gray area of legality and logistics. It's unsustainable, okay? It's unsustainable. The situation we're in, we're only surviving now because it's cool and because our community has really gone the extra mile to conserve the resource that we have. And we're surviving now because of that, but I'm telling you, once it warms up, we have a serious problem. 55 million gallons a year will not be coming in by truck during the summertime because logistically it is not possible, okay? I've already lost one outside source. The sources are dwindling, they're becoming farther apart, which means the costs are gonna go up. What we used to charge 4.5, 5 cents a gallon for, now we're at 10, 11, possibly 12. This is insanity. This is insanity. I've had customers who had to put down their livestock to save on water to be able to afford the water bill. This is not a bill that my wife and I wanted to give out to the people, not even remotely. But when I get 3.5 miles to the gallon, and I can now do what I used to be able to do 8, 9 trucks, I can now do 2, maybe 2.5. Look at the logistics. It's not possible. And as far as why we are here, I heard somebody yell out in the back, Ortega. Look, I personally believe that what our Board of Supervisors did to us, I'm not supposed to attack anybody, but what our Board of Supervisors did to us, I personally believe is criminal. And if you look up the definition of criminal negligence in Arizona revised statutes, you will see that there's probably any reasonable person can make that judgment that it was criminal. You can't say, nobody can say that what happened after January 1st could not be predicted. Not one person could say, geez, well, if Scottsdale cuts us off, boy, people might actually suffer. Yeah, they are. County knew that. When Scottsdale, let me think about this. When Scottsdale said they were blindsided by the county's decision to not approve the water district, how does that not scream lack of communication? How does that not scream lack of due diligence? Okay, so county officials, 86 viable solution. What did they come up with? Nothing. There is no way Scottsdale should have shut that water off January 1st when Scottsdale admitted they wanted help. They gave a solution to county after the fact. They want to help. They did not want to cut the taps off. So as far as I'm concerned, our Board of Supervisors, from the time they failed us with the water district until January 1st, did absolutely nothing to secure a solution because we don't have water. And I blame our county for that. I don't blame Mayor Ortega for that. I blame our county supervisors for that. So,
Okay, so almost 10 years county has known about this.
yeah, this isn't something that snuck up on us. And, newcomers, it might have snuck up on you and people who are not aware, but I've been here since '99, and I tell you what, this has been something that has been known for many years. This should not have happened, but it did. So my personal opinion is I think we have to direct all communication and all efforts. Yes, we need to support our county supervisors coming to the table, but we need to support them, in my opinion, from the backside with some pitchforks and maybe a little persuasion. Because Scottsdale offered, county said no, and where is it gonna be? The Attorney General gave the county the authority and through the opinion to operate on our behalf. So they need to operate on our behalf. No, they just shouldn't, they need to. And the last thing I just want to say, and I want to reiterate this, come hot season, come summertime, we're not going to make it, okay? This is not a joke. And it's unfortunate that there's not any other water haulers supporting this notion, but it is what it is. It's not sustainable. So do what you need to do on an individual basis. Let the Board of Supervisors know they need to get off their tails and get us water before this gets, before it gets too late. I mean, I'm really, really glad that we made it this far, but we're not gonna make it that much farther. Not once it warms up, there's just nothing we can do. So, there it is.